Hello everyone, it's Jennifer Joy, Creativity and Life Purpose Specialist, and welcome to our Change Your Life in 30 Days series. And we have had a bunch of people who have just climbed into the group, so I want to take just a moment to let you know what this Change Your Life series is all about. So through the month of April, we are working our way through the book Change Your Life in 30 Days by RHONDA BRITTEN. RHONDA BRITTEN is one of the pioneering life coaches in the industry. She's been doing life coaching for about 30 years now. And she's also was one of the first life coaches on television. She had a show called Starting Over. She was one of the coaches on the show way back in the early days of reality television. And believe me, this one wasn't about drama. This one was all about expansion and growth. And she is also the founder of the Fearless Living Institute. Now, I've been studying, I'm a master fearless living coach, and I've been studying under RHONDA for about 12 years. And in her organization now, I am a master coach, a trainer, and a mentor. And what that means is not only do I use her work in my own private practice, the fearless living work, along with some other modalities, but I also teach her life coaches, teach her life coaches in training. Her student coaches, I am one of the teachers and trainers for that as well. So it's a great joy in my life to be able to talk about her work. I love it. And you are here with us today for my favorite book of hers, which is Change Your Life in 30 Days. And we are on day 21. Now, if you are new, do not worry. You can watch this video. You can jump into these videos wherever you want. You can jump around in them. And as always, you can search in this group, go back and search on the term or acronym CYL, in brackets even. That will bring up all of the past videos. And you don't even need to have the book to follow along. Now, the book's available on Amazon, so you can get the hard copy or the ebook. So if you wanted to have it for yourself, you can do this at any time. Or, like I said, just watch the videos. So if you're new, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. And if you're one of my regular viewers, of course, I have tons and tons of appreciation. I love getting comments and feedback. I'm here to serve you. So when I get those comments and those questions and those insights and those feedbacks, it just feels very fulfilling to me. And I know that I'm achieving my purpose, which kind of goes into today's topic. Day 21 in Change Your Life in 30 Days is about luck, fate, and destiny. And I want to tell you a little story about, and this fits into what RHONDA talks about in this chapter. So I want to tell you, I just was talking about, it helps me know that I am fulfilling my destiny, or my purpose, my purpose. So I want to give you a little story about life purpose. I do call myself a life purpose specialist, and I'm going to let you know how I came upon becoming a life purpose specialist. So I have been a life coach for about 10 years now, and I have been a life purpose mentor or a life purpose hand analyst for about 5 years now. And what happened was that basically while I was in my 30s, I had my daughter in my early 30s, and my health before having my daughter and even after having my daughter, it just was really declining quite a bit. I was extremely exhausted all the time, and it just kept getting worse through my decade of the 30s. It got to be where I would drop my daughter off at school in the morning, and I'd come home and take a nap, and then I'd get up for lunch and I would take a nap, and just no energy, and my mood also kept declining to where I was having depression, and I still have some compromised issues and can have some cycles of depression. It's been a little while since I've had one, but what I did was, of course, first I talked to my doctor, my conventional doctors, about this cycle that I was in, and pretty much was told that it was just perimenopause and don't worry about it. But yet there was a part of me that was thinking, other women live their lives while they're going through perimenopause. Other women can actually function and work, and I was to the point where all of that was very difficult for me. So I started to seek answers elsewhere, and fortunately came across a naturopath who was here in my small town in Wisconsin for just a very short period of time. They had an office here, and uncovered that I was having adrenal fatigue issues, that I was celiac, so I had dietary issues, and I embarked on a year-long healing mission, healing my body, changing my diet completely, moving to more natural foods as well as ditching the gluten, and also going through a series of detoxes and cleanses and different supplements to support my body and bring me back to life, basically. So after a year of healing, I was feeling better. I was feeling better than I had in about a decade. And so it was this day that I remember so distinctly. I was in my backyard, and it was June. So we're coming up on the anniversary pretty soon. And it was June, and I'm looking out over my backyard. I've got a window right here. And we string a hammock up between some trees during the nice weather. And we're going to be doing that eventually here once the snow clears. And I said, God, universe, and I did use both. I used both. I used both, God, universe. And I said, please, I'm feeling better now. Please let me know what I'm to do and help me get out of my own way. And then I had my iPad with me. So I had my iPad and I laid in the hammock with my iPad and I dozed for about 20 minutes. And when I woke up, I pulled out my iPad and checked my email. And there was an email message there that said, "Get out of your own way," in the subject line. I kid you not. It said, "Get out of your own way." Now, if that didn't feel like luck, fate, or destiny, I don't know what, right? It really felt like the hand of God. Here, 20 minutes after my prayer, I have this email in my inbox. So I opened it up, and it was from a woman named Beth Davis, and I'd never heard of her before. I don't have any idea how I got on her mailing list, but that happens sometimes. Mailing lists can be shared. But no idea. I'd never received anything from her in the past. And Beth Davis was a scientific hand analyst, which I had also never heard of before in my life. So scientific hand analyst is someone who looks at your hands, but it's not around that sort of traditional fortune-telling palmistry type of thing. It really is around looking at your fingerprints, and the field of scientific hand analysis was developed in the late 20th century. And of course, it does draw on some of the traditional versions of that, but it is really a repeatable, measurable system that is based on a lot of research and data collection. So it's really around the concept that your fingerprints correspond to certain gifts, certain attributes, certain also, I'm going to say weaknesses that you may have in your sort of psychology, although it kind of goes deeper than that. And those fingerprint attributes, which incidentally, your fingerprints develop between the 14th and 16th week of pregnancy, and they never change. So thinking of them as your soul's mission and corresponding to these certain talents and ways that your brain works. Because your brain, the ridges in your brain, develop at the same time as the ridges in your fingers, which is kind of interesting to me. Kind of fascinating. And so it is your soul's mission. Your fingerprints are a map of your soul's mission, your life purpose, your life lesson, which is your biggest blind spot, and your life school, which I like to call your life theme. It's sort of the overriding patterns in your life, both the good patterns that make life easy and the patterns that can lead to struggle. So that's the information found in our fingerprints. And then it also goes into the lines in our hands, which do change being sort of a map of our neurobiology, our neural pathways. There are very, very distinct correlations between the way our brains work and the different lines and markings we have in our brain and our hands. So I like to say the patterns in your hands are the patterns in your life. Now, like I said, I'd never heard of this before, so I was skeptical. I must admit, very skeptical. But when it feels like the hand of God, luck, fate, destiny, has handed you something, or at least for me, I move forward with it. I move forward. So that's what I did. I went and I got my own hand analyzed. And what that looked like was that she sent me, Beth's office sent me an ink printing kit. And every time I talk about this, I go, why don't I have one with me? Why don't I have one next to me to show you? But she handed me this ink printing kit. And then I took ink prints of my hands and sent them back to her. Now, I want to really stress, I did not answer any questionnaires. I did not talk to anyone in her office. All she knew was my name, my address, my email address, and my handprints. That's all she had. And what I got, it took about a month to get the report back. And what I got was amazing. It told me about all the patterns that like I said, the patterns in my hands are the patterns in my life. It told me about all these things that I had learned about myself in, let's see, by that time it was 20 years of my own personal growth were right there in an instant, like that. And I instantly recognized how this could be a fabulous tool for my clients, because we could dive into the work immediately and make massive changes on the spot. So I got my handprints, and then I spent the next 15 months, and then I took some courses after work, but 15 months solid studying how to be a scientific hand analyst, and added that to my mix. So what the heck does this have to do with day 21 in Change Your Life in 30 Days? Well, like I said, I believed that it was an answer to my prayers, that it was God's hand, that it was luck, that it was fate, that it was destiny to get my life purpose that day. And Rhonda talks about that a little bit in this book, and how thinking that can be a catch-22. So for me, thinking that can be an extremely positive thing. It keeps me going. Knowing my life purpose is to be a spiritual teacher, basically teaching people about their life purpose, but a spiritual teacher with a business that is visible, a business that's in the spotlight, can keep me going on the days when I'm feeling down about myself, when I feel like I'm doubting myself. It helps me see that there are things that are larger than me, and keeps me motivated toward my mission. Now, I have to tell you that knowing my purpose, it wasn't like it was out of the blue. Oh my gosh, this is new information. It was kind of like, of course, that's what my life purpose is. That makes complete sense. Complete sense. And then what's interesting is my life lesson is also spiritual teacher. So I get this nice little push-pull in that area where it is extremely, I'm more comfortable as time goes on. But in the past, it was extremely difficult for me to talk to people about things of a spiritual nature because they can't be proven. And then you throw in this thing called scientific hand analysis and learning your purpose, and I'm like, people are going to think I am crazy, right? Or just have a screw loose or something. I don't know. So actually telling people that I use this phenomenal tool and it helps us go deep quickly, telling people that I believe we come to the earth with this purpose, is this huge risk for me. It's my life lesson, and yet it's what I must do to feel fulfilled. And that's why I do it. That's what keeps me motivated to do it, to help you, to help serve you, to help you get on your purpose. And my life theme, incidentally, my life school is the School of Love, which is all around being emotionally authentic and vulnerable, and sharing myself with you, which is something, again, doesn't come to me naturally. And yet I must do it. It's part of it's part of what fulfills me. And I've learned that over the last many years that I've been doing this work. I've learned that that is true for me. So it's this catch-22, because knowing that there's something bigger than me, or believing in something bigger than me, it really does help move me forward and motivate me and keep me on track. And yet, what Rhonda talks about in the book is that we can also use these things as an excuse. I'm just not lucky. Well, I didn't get my calling like you did, Jennifer Joy. You're lucky. You didn't. I haven't had my calling like that. It's easy for you, or just taking your level of commitment and your level of responsibility out of the mix so that your confidence isn't actually growing. You're leaving everything up to fate, everything up to destiny, and not taking credit for the work that you're doing. So in my story, I want to be very clear that yes, I do believe that it was fate or destiny or the hand of God. I believe it 100%. Most days. Most days. Some days I'm skeptical still. But I believe that. And yet, I know that I talked to the naturopath, that I healed myself for a year, that I worked on my diet, that I worked on the cleanses, that I worked on the detoxes, that I had already had a life coach certification and had already spent 5 years life coaching. So when I came to that point, I was open to seeing it. I was open to receiving it. I was open and committed to moving forward with it. So it's a co-creation. It's a conscious creation. I did my part, and I let God do his part. And together, we work together. Together, we come together in this conscious creation. And whether it's God, you call God, Buddha, inner being, universe, source, believe me, I've used them all. And at any given day, I'll use one or the other. It just depends where I am that day. But I take full responsibility and full credit for my part in moving forward. And not just relying on fate, not just relying on destiny, and not using it as an excuse either. I love the story Rhonda talks about in this book about an actress, because she talks about a creative in this book, and she talks about an actress who's waiting for her break and feeling down on her luck. She's not getting lucky. And Rhonda talks about, what do you have control over and what don't you have control over? Are you putting yourself into your mission? Not only externally, Rhonda mostly talks about the externals, your headshots, your acting classes, are you pounding the pavement? So she's mostly talking about external work in this particular book. But if you've been around this community at all, and I hope if you're new, you are around for a while, I also believe that it's getting our inner work aligned so that we really can manifest what our vision is, what our mission is, that we can attract and manifest that. So it's really about looking at what you can control. What is your responsibility? And taking full responsibility for your part. And that includes keeping track of your limiting beliefs, keeping track of your feelings, learning how to process them, which I do with my clients. I teach them a very specific process in my 90-day program. How to process their feelings so that they can move to a higher vibration, so that they can have energy, enthusiasm, and be in that space of health. And I say that not from the physical place, even where I was on my hammock, but the mental space, the inner space of health and vibrancy and enthusiasm and openness and willingness to move forward with their creative mission. And that's what this chapter is about. It's about the two coming through together, knowing what you need to do to be prepared for when fate or luck or destiny steps in, or God or universe or source or your inner being, and also knowing when to surrender, knowing that you don't control everything, that you can do the work. And I can do my work here and I still don't know if anyone's going to watch this video. I don't know if I'm going to have clients who sign on. I don't know if I'm going to have comments. I don't know if you're going to laugh in my face. I need to surrender my control around that. And again, just keep focused on what I can do. My responsibility, my part, my role, and let the rest unfold. So, big deep sigh. I feel like I hope this has been of service to you. I hope that you can look at your life and see where you maybe have used luck or fate or destiny as an excuse, because that can happen. Where have you been waiting for it? Where have you taken responsibility? Where have you acted on those amazing moments of synchronicity in your life? And what did you do about it? And what can you do now as you look at your creativity in your business? What can you do now so that you're ready? So that you're not clutching, trying to control everything, but that you're taking responsibility and being ready for when something opens up for you. As always, I hope again that I've served you, and I'd love to hear your comments, your insights, and let me just state, if you want to know anything about your purpose and how you can learn your purpose through my 90-day program, Unleash Your Prosperity and Creativity, please feel free to sign up for a Creative Spark strategy session. I will put the link in the comments here so that we can sign up and we can either work on something in that time together, work on something in your life to move you forward in your business or your creativity or your healing. Or if you want to just find out how you can learn your life purpose through your fingerprints, we can talk about that as well. Because like I said, for me, it was life-changing. And it wasn't that it was, oh my gosh, out of the blue, new information. I do believe we're always working in our purpose, but knowing our purpose goes from that place of being unsure, lacking confidence, doubting yourself, wondering if you're on the right path. Oh gosh, I'm clenching up right now. I can just feel what it felt like in the past of just not knowing your why. Not knowing your why. So if you want to move from that place of not being sure of your why, or being sure of how to get out of your own way, knowing your life purpose can help. Knowing your life purpose can change it. It changed a ton for me. And it brought me to where I am right now. So again, if you want to jump on the phone, I'm gonna try to close this. I don't want to leave for some reason, but I'm going to leave the link if you want to jump on the phone and have more of this conversation. So thank you again for tuning in. I cannot wait to see you tomorrow for day 22 of Change Your Life in 30 Days. And actually, let me leave you with a comment from her. She says, relying on the fates to intervene does not allow you to learn who you are in difficult situations. A belief that your destiny will be fulfilled can be your ego talking. If you are waiting for luck to make you a winner, you will be waiting forever. It isn't possible. Today is the day you are giving up luck, fate, and destiny. Put them aside and put yourself in the forefront. That's the important thing, I think. No matter what, put yourself in the forefront. Do the work. Get prepared. An opportunity is coming your way. Will you be ready? So thank you again. I will see you tomorrow back here for day 22 of Change Your Life in 30 Days. Have a wonderful day and go out there and move toward your calling. Do your purpose. It's about you being you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.